What it do? H-Town, what it do? On today's show, did the 34-7 thrashing by the Minnesota Vikings make the Houston Texans look that much less of a Super Bowl contender? Also, why did the Houston Texans secondary make Sam Darnold look like the second coming of Aaron Rodgers?
You must be crazy.
He good.
And did head coach DeMeco Ryans fail to adjust to Justin Jefferson? H-Town, let's cuss and discuss. Get your listening ears ready. Strap up your boots and let's go.
Hey, Houston fans, I am so happy.
T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 3, 2, 1.
Are you ready? I was born for this. Look, every Sunday, I don't give a, whenever we play, I get that text. Are you ready?
Texas!
The pitch. And Altuve hits it in the air pretty deep to left. Carter is back at the wall, leaps, and it is gone! It's gone! How do you like that?
One game at a time.
Green still with it. Gets it back. Lets it fly. And got it!
Win on two, win on two, 1-2.
Welcome back, H-Town. Welcome back. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to spend a few minutes here on Everything H-Town Sports Debate Show. I'm your dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV, and like always, please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, hit that notification bell so you can get the latest flames that your boy drop about your Houston Texans, your Houston Rockets, and your Houston Astros. But on to the topic at hand, the skull dragging of the Houston Texans by the Minnesota Vikings with a final score of 34-7.
Watch your mouth!
And the Houston Texans, are my team. They are my squad. You can call me a homer, you can call me whatever, but I'm also a realist. In watching the Sam Darnold-led Minnesota Vikings drag the Houston Texans offensively and defensively, make us look like scrubs, kind of angered me. Because we did not look prepared to go out there in Minnesota, which we never won in that building. And we look bad. We look like a college team that partied the night before and didn't get any sleep and came to the game thinking because you had some talented players, you were going to win. But you didn't. You got drugged through the mud. You got embarrassed in their stadium. And the penalties, oh my God, Laramie Tunsil. I can't believe. I like Laramie Tunsil, the guy we traded, I think, 2 first-round picks and much more for the guy. And the guy is a false start waiting to happen. He's a penalty waiting to happen. Like, it is driving me nuts that this guy makes as much money as he does. And he's shooting us in the foot. He's putting us behind the 8 ball on numerous of occasions, man. Like over and over again. That dude right there might need to sit on a bench for a couple quarters if he can't get it together. Put the rookie in from Notre Dame. Make that guy wake up. Paying him too much money to be the false start king. But the overall game plan by Bobby Schloid looked very weak. We couldn't run the ball. The offensive line was overwhelmed. We let Jonathan Gennard, who we let walk in free agency to bring back a Danielle Hunter, we let him get 3 sacks. And I mean, he looked dominant. He put Cade Stover on his behind, and he was on C.J. Stroud, but all game long. And we let him walk in free agency. I like Danielle Hunter. I respect Danielle Hunter. I believe he's going to have a great season with the Houston Texans. But we let a lot of former Texans players, as far as Kame Grugier-Hill and Blake Cashman, and a lot of guys who formerly played on this Houston Texans roster, and they are not superstars. They are decent role players and decent players, but today we made them guys look like they were superstars. The offensive line gave them dudes so many open lanes to C.J. Stroud. I was nervous the guy was going to get hurt and miss some games. I'm glad head coach DeMeco Ryans made the decision to take him out because he was limping. He looked like Caleb Williams last week. I'ma just be real. They was on my guy, CJ. He couldn't do anything. He didn't have enough time to really find open receivers. It was ridiculous, man. I mean, it was bad. And as far as the run game, Cam Akers didn't really have any holes to hit. Even when he tried to make a few cutbacks, he made a good 9-yard run. He made a couple of chunk plays. He caught a few passes out the backfield. But overall, this Texans defense made Sam Darnold look like the second coming of Aaron Rodgers, and that was embarrassing. He didn't even really throw. He was 17 for 28 for 181 yards and 4 touchdowns. Sam Darnold with 4 touchdowns. He threw for under 200 yards, but you let the guy scramble around, hit open receivers, and throw for 4 freaking touchdowns like he's a superstar. Like, I'm not understanding that. CJ Stroud's stat line was 20 for 31, 215 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 picks. Everybody kept saying, oh, CJ Stroud hasn't thrown a pick in this many games. I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't know it was going to happen in the midst of our defense being asleep, in the midst of our offense being asleep. I did not know that it was all going to come crashing down at one time. I understood that CJ Stroud is a young quarterback, and he was going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. You have veteran quarterbacks that make mistakes and throw picks. So I knew it was going to happen. That is kind of like a fluke that he hadn't threw one. But, I mean, he is a quarterback that's safe with the ball. C.J. Stroud is really, really safe with the ball for a young quarterback. But it happens. Even by accident, you could throw an interception. But the run game was non-existent. Cam Akers, 9 carries, 21 yards. We let Aaron Jones run for 19 carries, 102 yards. So they had a 100-yard rusher. They had Sam Darnold throwing 4 touchdowns. They had Justin Jefferson with 6 catches, 81 yards, and he dropped a couple. Could have been a 100-yard receiver as well. Stephon Diggs finally came to the party. Had 10 receptions, I believe, 94 yards. Nico Collins, I believe, he came on late and had about 4 catches, 86 yards. Tank Dell, 5 catches, 62 yards. So we did spread the ball for the most part. Davis Mills came in and looked pretty good, in mop-up duty, you know what I mean? So to me, the overall picture was that no one pressed up, no one put hands, no one knocked Justin Jefferson off of his routes. He was wide open. Most of the time, he was 5-10 yards deep before anyone was even close to him. He had wide open opportunities to catch the ball. No one knocked this man. No one pressed man this dude. No one bumped him and pushed him off his route. No one did anything. He was wide open all game. Derek Stingley wasn't even within 5 yards of the guy pretty much all game long. He had one that he almost tipped, and Justin Jefferson still caught it. But I did not understand being in a nickel package like we was, or whatever we was in, a cloud, whatever DeMeco Ryans chose to stay in, because at halftime, when they asked the Minnesota Vikings head coach, he even said that he recognized that we were staying primarily in the nickel defense, and they was exploiting that, man. So that he already figured out what we wanted to go with. We tried to play it safe with Justin Jefferson, and it still burnt us in the end by what we did. We should have just manned up on him, man, and let's go. Let's bump him. Let's be physical. If we get a flag, oh, freaking well. Because what you did and then failing to adjust as well made us look, and it was an embarrassment, man. I mean, it was embarrassing for a Houston Texans team who have high hopes of being Super Bowl contenders. And I understand it's only one game. It's only one game. I understand that. But the Houston Texans, they got to do better, man. This has to be the only one that they fall. This has to be the only game of the season where they fall this asleep. I'm not saying they're not going to lose any more games, but this game right here, it's like nobody came to the party. On defense, they finally started waking up. Will Anderson had a decent game. Let me check him out. Alziz Shire, he looked pretty good. He had 9 tackles, 1 assist. Jalen Petrie, he did okay. He did some tackles. He was back there. Kamari Lassiter had 4 tackles. But for the most part, man, nobody came to the party, man. Tim Settle, He's supposed to be a run stopper, but he had 2 sacks. Derek Barnett had 1 sack. Will Anderson had 1 sack. But for the most part, man, nobody came to the party to stop this Minnesota Vikings offense, and they made Sam Darnold look like he was the second coming of Aaron Rodgers, man. And I mean, the guy was just running around out the pocket, on the money, throwing it down the field, throwing sideline, back shoulders to the middle, all over the field. In this secondary, Jimmy Ward and everybody else just got burnt completely, man. I mean, I do not understand why we stayed in that nickel package or whatever that package was that DeMeco Ryans was deploying. It did not make sense. Justin Jefferson and all the other receivers on that squad was wide open before anyone was even 2 to 3 yards close to him. So that kind of angered me. I'm not understanding, but the Houston Texans, I still think, is a formidable team. They're a good squad. I'm not going to crap on my team all the way, but this game was very, very disappointing, and we could have done a lot better. DeMeco Ryans could have made more adjustments. Bobby Sloyd was exposed by the defensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings, man. We look bad, man, and we look bad on both sides of the ball. We look bad all game. It wasn't just 1 or 2 quarters. It was all 4 quarters. We look horrible, man. And I think they're going to have to go back to the drawing board, wake up, adjust, get ready for the Jacksonville Jaguars, because we still have the lead in the division. I believe the Colts won. They beat the Bears today. But we can still go back home and put a whooping to the Jacksonville Jaguars and stay on track and move to 3-1 in the first quarter, man. But right now we 2-1. We got to get this game against Jacksonville to continue on the trajectory of being a Super Bowl team. So I don't know, man. You guys let me know what you think about this game. Were you angry? Did you think DeMeco Ryans made the proper adjustments, man? What is up? What do we need to do for our run game? Our offensive line has so much money and draft capital invested in it. What should we do, H-Town? You guys let me know. I'm almost voiceless right now. I'm hoarse and everything else. But it's been real chopping it up with you guys. I'm your Dreadhead host, Hot Topic TV. It's been real talking to everybody out there. I love y'all and peace.
Texans!
Put some respect on our name.